Hello everybody, Prepper003 here today, and today I had a product here that I wanted to show you as an unboxing. I'm going to be doing a multi-part review for this product because there's not really a lot of information out, but it's the PTR 91 MSG. And right now I recently picked this up this month, and right now I've got quite a bit of interest into the MSG just because there's not a lot of information out or as far as in-depth reviews on it. Besides, I think I saw one online, but besides that there just hasn't been a lot out there. So right now I just wanted to start off with an unboxing, what you get right out of the box with it. And right now, one thing I will say that I've noticed just right here after picking it up from the shop last week is that the box itself is kind of small for what you generally would use the MSG. Even though normally I upgrade all my guns to like a Pelican case or something like that, the box that it comes with is pretty small in relation to the actual rifle. And I'll swing it around here for you guys so you can see what comes out. Okay, so as you see right out of the box, here it is. It comes with the rifle itself, the inspection slip, and this one was dated for being inspected on January 13th of 2017. Just going to set this over here. And then it comes with the, under here it comes with the 120 round magazine, the standard lock, and the owner's manual. Now, the one thing that I will say, like I was talking about, that disappoints me just a little bit about the box. Remember, I got a, back in 2013, I picked up a PTR 91 GI. The box was much bigger. The problem with this is if you're going to mount a scope on, which most of you guys are for the MSG, there's pretty much no clearance for any type of scope for right here inside this case. But then again, like I said, I normally upgrade to a Pelican case, especially for something that I'm going to be using for more intermediate ranges like 0 to 500. But that's just one thing that I noticed right out of the box, is that the case is just kind of small. It's good for the gun itself, but for the, if you're going to want to mount an optic to it, that is where you're going to have a couple of issues. Now on to the gun itself. Okay everyone, now on to the rifle. Like I was saying, first I'm going to show you guys a safe check, just to show that it is unloaded. Now I'm going to start from the muzzle down, and the one thing that's nice about the newer rifles that they're doing is that it is a 5/8 by 24 right hand thread, so a lot of your standard flash hiders and muzzle brakes that you are going to be able to get for the 308s that are available on the market, like your AR-10 style rifles, are definitely going to be able to work for this. And that really works well for me, because I recently just been and picked up a Silencer Omega 30, and I'm really looking to try that on this. I know that you do have to change out the locking piece to a number 17, but right now that's one thing that I'm really liking to see, is how this really works well suppressed. I know that they say that it does increase the recoil a bit, but we'll see as that goes on. Now down onto the barrel. The barrel is a 18-inch fluted bull barrel, as they say. To me, it doesn't really look like a huge amount of bull barrel from what I have seen working at the shop with bull barrels. But one thing that I actually wanted to really see was how is it fluted all the way down. And one thing that I noticed after I bought it and did some looking into it is that it is actually only partially fluted. As you can see here, under the handguard itself, it actually just goes on to just a standard smooth barrel rather than having the flutes. So I'm not sure how well that really works, but I'm not really one to judge. I kind of like the fluting on it. It just would have kind of been nice if it was fully fluted. It would help cut down a little bit on the weight, which is 12 pounds total for the rifle empty. But when you compare this thing to the 249S that I've been training around with and lugging, it's not much of an issue. Now onto the handguard. It's a standard aluminum handguard. I'm not exactly sure who makes it and manufactures it. I just know that it is stamped PTR. I'm not sure if they make it in-house or if they bring it in. The paint itself is not the best paint. I do know that I'm probably going to get it Cerakoted to some other color, but it leaves a little bit to be desired for the paint. Not that I'm really complaining. It's going to get scratched up anyways with these stuff that I'm going to be putting it through. Then it comes with a Harris bipod and a Yankee Hill Machine or YHM adapter for the bipod. Now, there's on the under part here, I kind of have to put some rail covers on here just to kind of cover it up from where I'm gripping it until I can get a vertical foregrip. It has a full 6-inch rail here to attach pretty much what you want to. The problem that most of you know about with the PTRs is that you can't really attach much onto the left hand of the rifle because that's going to interfere with the charging handle unless you have it angled at a far right down position. Now I'll just throw this handguard back on here and then we'll continue on to the rest of the firearm. Shot my little Allen wrench there. Now, it does come with the standard 20-round magazine, like I said earlier. The nice part about this is that with the newer firearms that they're producing, they come with the actual mag paddle rather than just the push button. And that's one thing that did kind of irk me a little bit about the old 91 that I got, that was the GI model, is that I'd have to reach all the way up here with pretty much my middle finger to press the magazine release to actually get that magazine out of there. So having that paddle there really definitely speeds up the reload. So if you want to do some tactical shooting or what have you with the actual thing, take it to maybe a heavy metal match if you want to. You definitely could, especially now that you do have that paddle there to increase the speed reloads. Now, is it going to really increase it that much over an AR-10? Probably not, but it definitely does help increase it over just having the push button. Now here is another thing that I did notice, that in the actual owner's manual it states that the trigger itself is supposed to be a 5 to 6 pound trigger. At the shop, whenever it came in, we went and weighed the trigger just because I was looking through the manual and trying to see what was going on with the rifle, because I wanted to see how the difference of a trigger this is compared to my old 91 GI. And right now the nice thing about this trigger is that it is lighter than the GI by a couple of pounds, but because the GI that I have read right around 10 to 10.5 pounds. The only issue is that this one, unlike the owner's manual where it says 5 to 6 pounds, it's actually around 8 to 8.5 pounds. Now that it's not that big of a difference for me. It's just that in the owner's manual it says that it's supposed to be that light. It would have been nice to see it maybe around a 7, but it's not like I'm really going to be complaining that much. I can work with that trigger. But eventually I'm probably going to end up getting an upgraded trigger or sending this one off to Bill Springfield and having him work on it himself. Now onto the upper part of the receiver here. You do have that welded Picatinny rail on top here, so if you do want to mount a optic of your choice, you can. And the one thing that I really do like is that you do now have a windage adjustment here for your rear sight. Now before with the standard 91, it just had a little area right here for an Allen wrench. This one right here actually has a thumb section here where I can actually turn the dial and be able to change my actual windage without having to do too much work into it. But you can actually do a pretty quick amount of adjustments out at the range or maybe in the field if you have to. Now the reason that I went with this one over the 91 SS was because I wanted to have my iron sights to see how well this does with the iron sights. So that's why I went for this one rather than the complete high end that they got there for the 91 series. Now on to the very rear of the rifle, the stock. It's a I'm pretty sure I'm going to get this right. It's an HK91 style of the Magpul edition stock, kind of like the Magpul PRS. It does have a QD mount, so if you did want to put a QD mount here for your sling, you can. And it is reversible, so for some of you lefties, you can reverse that over to the other side. And it does have your adjustment here for your cheek rest and your length of pull. Now I did find that whenever because I'm going to be getting an ACOG for this, I just have to finish paying that off at the shop, that you do have to raise this considerably a pretty good amount to get up in that eye level with that Trigicon. Now the other thing is whenever you do actually raise that cheek rest, I was trying this out at the gun shop, is that once you get in that proper level with the optic, it's pretty difficult, at least for my cheek, to get back down to see the irons. Now, if you have an optic on there, you're not going to be using irons too much, but you will have to make that adjustment if you do have to. If your optic gets destroyed or something like that or damaged, you have to take the optic off and go back your irons. You will have to adjust your cheek rest. At least that's my experience. Okay, and right now the barrel twist, I forgot to mention, was a 1 in 10 twist, which is pretty good for what a majority of the bullets that I'm going to be shooting through, which are going to be from the 147 military surplus ammunition grain all the way up to the 168 grain Hornady Bowtail hollow point match ammunition. Now overall, I do really like the rifle. I am looking forward to actually getting this out onto the range and getting it through a couple of torture tests with the sand, water, mud, and since we're in Wisconsin, I get to really do some work with it in snow. So that's going to be really fun. I'm really looking forward to seeing how she actually turns out and how she fares. I'm really looking forward to seeing the accuracy on this. Right now I talked to the rep at PTR, and he said that what they've been generally seeing out of the PTR 91 is around 1 inch to maybe a sub MOA, they were saying, but right now from what I've heard a couple other people say, they're getting 1.5 to 1.25 inch groups with it. So I'm going to really take my time, test out a couple of different loads for it. I'm not a reloader, so I'm not going to really be able to do much for hand loads for it, but I'm going to pretty much do a good amount to test with a majority of different actual factory loads. I do know that right now there's been a pretty good sale on the Malaysian ammunition for surplus. So I went and picked that up, and this is pretty much a majority of the stuff that I'm going to be shooting out of the PTR for the torture test and for a lot of the drills that I'm going to be running with it, as far as, because I really want to get the manipulations of the rifle down and see just how fast you can reload it, how fast you can tactical reload it, speed reload it, and just see how the rifle fares in a couple of different conditions, because right now we're just entering into fall, and into winter I want to see just how well the rifle fares with the multitude of different conditions over what I've seen in the past with other rifles that I've owned. So if you guys do want to know, I do already have just to quickly hit this before I go, I did get swapped out the inner pouches for my Mayflower rig, so if you guys are looking for a good rig for the PTR or your other 308s, I can definitely recommend the Mayflower UW Gen 6 pusher rig. Just so you can use AR-15, AK magazines, and your standard 308s. But that's pretty much the rig that I'm going to be using with it, and I'm going to be really looking forward to actually getting this rifle put through its test and to really see what she can do. I've been looking forward to it since I saw it out, and I'm really looking forward to it. You guys have a great day. Hopefully you guys stay in tune for the other parts of this actual rifle review. And like I said, it's going to be a multi-part. That way it's not a 45-minute long video for you guys. Right now I'm going to pretty much, the next thing I'm going to do with this is take it through the break-in period, and then I'm going to do an accuracy test for the next one and see just how well she does for accuracy. Well, thanks guys, have a great day, and if you like it, feel free to comment down below and tell me what you guys are thinking and what is your guys' opinion so far, what you've seen of it, and maybe if you're going to pick one up, or if you already have a PTR 91, what do you think of this compared to the one that you got right now? Well, have a great day.